Hi, this is Dr. Michelle Medrano. Thanks so much for tuning in to Contemplate This. In today's episode, I would like to talk about difficult people. Hey, now don't stop. Don't tune me out. I know you have one. I have at least one in my life. Challenging people. People who challenge me personally by being their unique self or by the way that they behave or the things that they say, or people that I see on television or I see in the worldview. Difficult people. People who just aren't doing things the way that I think they should be doing them, or aren't saying things the way I think that they should be saying them, or are taking actions that appear to be harming me or other people. How can we deal with those kinds of people? Now, I only have a few minutes here in this episode, so this could be a really long conversation. But let me just start with where I start. I try to start when I'm faced with a difficult person. Firstly, I try to just really notice my perceptions of them, and notice that when it comes to other people, we really can never totally know another person, even when they show us their behavior, because what we're observing about them is them on the screen of our own awareness. So it's that person with all these filters from my own mind. That's what I'm seeing on the screen of my eyes, of my awareness. So I have to remember this, and it helps me then to kind of step back and look at difficult people and say to myself, you know, even though I'm finding this person to be rather difficult, here are some questions that sometimes bring me back to center about difficult people. Have I ever behaved like that? Have I ever behaved in a way that I perceive they're behaving? Have I ever said the wrong thing, done the wrong thing, been rude on purpose or accidentally? Have I ever taken an action that might have harmed someone? And I'm going to guess the answer to that might be, yeah, I probably have. And then I also step back and think about how we all seem to want the same thing. I've never met a human being that didn't want to be accepted and loved and seen and acknowledged. And a lot of times bad behavior or difficult behavior from people is because they're wanting something. They're wanting recognition. They're wanting to do a good job. They're wanting to be seen. They're wanting to express themselves. And the way they express themselves is uniquely different than the way that I ever would. And so my own projection onto them is, well, I would never behave that way. Well, that doesn't mean that other people can't behave that way. You know, I would never wear white pants in the fall, but that doesn't mean you can't wear white pants in the fall. I mean, I know that's a silly example, but there are more serious examples that show up in our lives. But it causes me to step back and look at other people in a refreshing way. And so while I'm tempted to label somebody as a difficult person, if I want to have that label be obliterated, I have to do some inner work. And oftentimes when I ask myself these questions, I find that I have a little more patience with difficult people. I find that their behavior is something that I've probably done in myself in the past. I find that they're probably wanting, and when I can see what they might be wanting or even imagine what they might be wanting, I can kind of have a little more patience, a little more calmness in my awareness. And the reality is, the more peaceful that I can be with other people and in relationships and in my perceptions of other people, the more that I can be a place where peace can reside and live on the planet. That's really the secret, isn't it? So go out today and just notice any difficult people. Try seeing them through this filter today and see what happens. Thanks for tuning in. We welcome your comments, your questions. We'll see you soon.